Hey, welcome back, everyone. Right now is part 3. So I was saying in part 2 video, what is it? I was notified by Antonio Romano, an update on, basically we had a good 2-hour conversation on what I experienced on his PDF, like his downloadable PDF, right? So I told him why I went on it, why I went off it, and he says, okay, I think I can help you with what you need. So in that 2-hour conversation, I got just like the guy's a genius. Like he just made sense. Every single thing I've been struggling with my whole life, he just made sense in like well, I wouldn't say it took him 2 hours to make sense of everything, meaning by the time I got everything out that I needed of my journey, he basically summed up what could be the culprit, what was wrong, what I could be doing better. So a month later from that call, a couple months later, I signed up. I don't know when it was, but I went on his program, and I was hesitant just because I'm just always hesitant, which is I've never worked with anyone before. So I'm just like, oh, okay, let's see how this goes. So, and he guaranteed that I'm going to have relief in about a month to 2 months. And I did. I actually had relief from everything. So, and then things only got better from there. So I was on, in total, his keto excellent. I was with him for 6 months. And during that 6 months, that started in April, 2023 April, and over the course of summer. So it was a perfect time to test everything. I had 3 crazy hikes to do that summer. I had a Spartan race, but that actually got canceled and it's postponed until this year because we had a lot of fires in our town. And so, and I had a cosplay to do. So I was fit and ready for my cosplay as well. So what happened is like the first month was hard. Second month got easier. When you're fully keto adapted, you're not even hungry anymore. And it was all about the electrolytes. But one of the things he told me that I didn't know, and most people wouldn't know with having no gallbladder, is that when you lose your gallbladder, you lose like more than 50% of your butyric acid. And when he told me that, I was like, what the heck is butyric acid? And he's like, the acid that helps you digest your food in your small intestine. And I'm like, how did I just not know that? Like, it seemed like an area I completely bypassed in knowing, right? There's an acid in, not just in your stomach, the hydrochloric for your stomach to like, there's like enzymes in your mouth to digest. There's like stomach, there's stuff to digest. And then your small intestine, there's like a whole chain of a thing that's digesting, which is butyric acid. And I just thought it was like, why isn't anyone talking about this, especially with people with no gallbladders? So I went on, so only supplements I had to take, besides electrolytes, was vitamin A, D, and K drops. I don't know the brand, but they're an oil, fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and K in drop form. And I took that. I took my ox bile and enzymes. I took that. And I would take, iodine. There's a certain iodine he recommends. And I took that a couple drops orally, diluted in water so it doesn't stain your teeth. And I was so skeptical and hesitant about like anything happening, but holy smokes, I'm going to say right now, you can pause the video. These are my before and after pictures of my journey and like what happened. And so, yeah, I hope this helps someone at some point. So this is the visual effects. Each picture is 1.5 months later. So the first picture is the first picture, and then the next one's 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. And I was able, my complete cardiovascular, whatever the heck you call it, completely changed. Like I'm a completely different makeup right now. Like I'm not the same as I was. I hiked the same exact hikes like later on, and same kind of elevation, same area. I'm in BC, Canada, so it's not like anything's different per region, right? And even my friends that are avid hikers with me, like they're the ones who are with me on these hikes, they're like, you have completely changed in your cardio when you hike with us. Like we remember how you'd huff and puff and you would struggle even though you weren't overweight or anything. So I was able to do Needle Peak, which is on the Coquihalla Summit. It's like 900, 800 something, 900 meters, like over 2K, which is steep. And I did that fully fasted and only electrolytes. I ate when I got to the top and I was done, and no carbohydrates. This is no carbs before. There's no carbing up. There's no carb this or that. I just was keto, and then I take my electrolytes and I hiked up that mountain fasted. That's like a good 2 hours to get to the top, I would say, maybe a little bit less, an hour and 45 minutes. And it's a whole day. I'm up there. We didn't get back to the vehicle till like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Like we're starting the hike at 9. We're like Lord of the Rings over the top of a huge ass mountain in the middle of nowhere at high elevation, and up there all day. And I just bought meat and cheese for snacks, and one and electrolytes is all I had. And so anyways, that was the big thing for me, is how my cardio changed. Even in my pictures, my my body just changed. Like it just became different, you know. I'm not super shredded right now or anything, but I'm a lot leaner. So right now in my journey, I've been off his program, being coached by him, and he was amazing. He was absolutely lovely to work with. I highly recommend Antonio Romano if you need coaching. But to show that there was elements about me with the missing gallbladder, with endometriosis, that even following just a PDF of someone who's very, very intelligent on the subject wasn't working for me, because there was things that I'm missing and things that I'm not digesting, and especially the fact that I can't absorb AD and K properly because I don't have a gallbladder, and having that bile to digest that kind of stuff, right? So he makes sense of everything. Like you can't really outsmart this guy in terms of like, I know he could be watching, but I'm like, sometimes I'd play devil's advocate with things, but sometimes I have really good questions. And because it was through Facebook, and it was a group. I was with like about 30 other people, and we get on these calls and we just talk about our problems or things we're going through for certain stages of the program. So huge shout out to Antonio Romano, and there'll be a link below for his Keto Excellence if you're interested. But in the meantime, see a professional, someone who knows what they're doing, who can guide you through all the aches and pains and ups and downs because a lot of the times we approach these things alone. We completely alone, and then we get so discouraged when things don't go the way we hoped it would because the guru online said so. So lastly, I ended off my program with a weight training program that I wanted to hear, like a goal I had, and it's going well. It's taking a bit longer than I expected. Not the weight training, like I gained like an inch and a half, or no, half an inch, maybe an inch now of my all my biceps, whatever. And so just because I want to look good for my cosplay and be in shape for Spartan race. So it's still like wintertime here. So once springtime comes and the weather's a bit better, I'm probably going to start training a bit more. But I got to like relax a little bit this winter with the work transition. But as for endometriosis, one of the craziest things happened was I had a lot of symptoms leading up. Most women have symptoms leading up to their periods, and all of my symptoms I had all stopped. I still have cramps, but since I've been off the program, they are a lot less. They are like, I'm starting to only have like, I take a 12-hour Advil for the day. Like I used to take 6 Advil, not 12-hour ones, but I used to take like the regular ones, like the extra strength, 6 a day. That's how bad it was. So now I'm only down to taking 12-hour Advil a day, and I take another one after 8 or 9 hours, I take another one, and then usually I might take another one, or I'll take like a Midol to tacked on the back of those two, and then I'm actually good. But all the things like breast tenderness and headaches and this and that, like it's like all these plethora things that we kind of go through, all that just ended. Like I just didn't have any. So my diet now currently, because I've helped my insulin resistance, I know like I do have the capability to put myself back where I was if I don't watch it. So I have to still be conscious of what I eat. I'm not fully keto, but I know that what's nice about this program is that even if you fall off the bandwagon for 2 or 3 days, you can go right back on it. I go back to my eggs, I go back to my ground beef, and I go back to my electrolytes, and I start to feel better. And faster. Like before, it took me like a month and a half to feel good. But now, like if I felt like, say I went to a party and I had cake or something like that, I try to avoid cake in general just because I only eat good cake if I'm going to have cake. But I find that, or if it's Thanksgiving or something like that, I know I can literally just do a small bit of an intermittent fasting, go back to eggs, go back to a bit of small amounts of cheese. But right now, my diet is to drop more fat. So if I was going to tell my diet in a nutshell for those watching, I have a work where I have hours where I take breaks. So I wake up and I have, what is it? I have non-fat Greek yogurt, and then I get the sugar-free or just fruits jam. And I have like maybe like a teaspoon of just strawberry, which is like 4 grams of net carbs in with like no fat Greek yogurt. And then I'll have some sort of meat for lunch, no carbs or anything. Or I'll have an apple. I'll have one Honeycrisp apple because I'd rather have a Honeycrisp than go for something sweet because I feel like something sweet. So, and then break, I'll have a weight training, one of those protein bars. I like the ones by Grenade. They don't hurt my digestion or anything. But what I have discovered that wasn't cured, and I didn't know what it was, and this is like drum roll to this most random thing ever, and I believe I've had this since I've had my gallbladder removed, but once a month, so this is another thing that happens to me that I've thought was a form of gastritis, but it's actually gastroparesis. And it is the most debilitating thing when it strikes. It's like worse than a period. And I thought I was a form of gastritis, but what happens is your digestion, like I can eat something at 1 o'clock, and if it's a too many combination of beef and cheese and like meals too large, it'll be 1 o'clock, I'll eat it, and I'm like vomiting the same meal out at 1 a.m. And I didn't know what this was. Like I thought I just had excessive bile. I thought coffee triggered it. So I went off coffee for a while. Like I'm off coffee forever. Like I just do matcha green tea or yerba mate, which is a Brazilian tea. And it's amazing, by the way. And so the more I researched about gastritis, I'm like, I don't think I have this. And you know, sorry, I am self-diagnosing myself at the same time, but like I went to the doctor's office telling them the exact same things, and I went home with rapipolazole or whatever. What are those like what are those called? That type of drugs for, I forgot the name, but they're a type of drugs for intestinal tract, kind of GI tract calming pills, right? And I remember going through another episode, and what happens is like around 4 o'clock, I'll get a deep welling pain in my solar plexus. And you get burpy, and if you're dehydrated, it's worse. And all of a sudden, the pain will go from like, it's like volume. It just slowly cranks louder and louder and louder till it's like I have like cramps, like bad cramps. And I can't even go to bed. I'm so tired at 1 a.m. And my stomach used to blow up. It used to be swollen, like I have a flat stomach, and it would be like I'm like 6 months pregnant. And that was also an endometriosis problem I had, but that was when I was menstruating. And on the program, that went away. And since I've been on the program and on the Keto Excellence program and fixed my diet, I have not had a bloated stomach like I'm 6 months pregnant ever again, like ever since. So, but when I get this form of gastritis, the same thing would happen, but I'm not having cramps. I'm having stomach pain so bad that eventually I just throw up. So now I was finding stuff on YouTube to figure out what was actually wrong with me. And behold, there is a name for it. And all these people, some of these people have situations so bad, they have to be on feeding tubes. Like they can't even eat. So I had to switch things up. And unfortunately, I'm taking Boost. Like there's a Boost brand drinks. It's like Simply 12 and it's very minimal ingredients. And I take one of those to work and I have one of those a day. I don't overkill on those. I just have one of those a day. I don't like taking stuff like that, but it doesn't make me feel sick and I'm getting calories in. So because what happens after these gastroparesis episodes, I can't eat for like 3 days. And I'm just eating beef broth or chicken broth to like stay eating something. Greek yogurt I can do. So I'm kind of on a weird partial keto / gastroparesis diet. Now, I can sit down and have one entire pan-fried ribeye by itself and never have this problem. So I can do keto, but as soon as I combine, the last episode I had tacos, like traditional corn style, gluten-free, pan-fried in a little bit of like lime olive oil, cheese melted into it, beef, and I had 4 of them, and my body was like rolfing out that like 5 to 6 hours later. So evidently, I don't know from when now there's a thing called the vagus nerve. That's like the nerve endings on your stomach to cause it to like move and stuff, to move food. And so I heard that when you get your gallbladder removed and the vagus nerve is near where everything went wrong, the exit pancreas, liver, and gallbladder drain into the small intestine, that can get nicked in the operation. And so I told my husband, I'm like, literally, I've had this problem since I had a gallbladder removal. I would say maybe a couple years after gallbladder removal. And it only strikes me like once a month. But it's awful because I'll throw up and I'll get broken blood vessels all over my throat. And it looks like someone strangled me. It's terrible. So, and I'm just haggard and weak for the next 48 hours. So that's basically my journey up into this point. And I'm hoping by even just like finally making these videos that I have a control of the gastroparesis. Now, if I have another episode of gastroparesis, I'll make another video explaining what happened. But now that I kind of know what's going on, there's things I can do. Well, sometimes when it strikes, there's nothing I can do about it. Like I'm throwing up everything that like 10 hours later. It's kind of weird, but that means that the stomach, I think the food starts to ferment and something happens like in your body's just like, I can't do this anymore and gives up and I have to get it out. So that's basically my journey in a nutshell. It's very unique in terms of like the losing the gallbladder, endometriosis, and then thinking at gastritis, but really gastroparesis, and doing the vegan, carnivore, keto sphere. Anyone out there in the comments, just be like, what's up, So, and please just ask questions in the comments. I'll be happy to answer those. So take care, everyone. And I hope you guys all have amazing health journeys and you can get better. Bye.